over and over because I'm prepping myself and training myself. For me, I understand that every day I'm going to be manipulated and I'm going to be around an ecosystem of people like that. For me, when I'm facing them, I want to be able to crash out. Let me just say this better. I want to see them for the true trash that they are. No matter how much effort was put into try to recreate reality where they paint themselves as some kind of justice seekers or avengers. First of all, what this trash are part of is crime against humanity. There's men, there's women, there's children dying and suffering through this. I've said that in 2020. I'm going to continue to stand on that. I've been listening and refreshing my mind over and over about the horrible reality of what this program does to children and to women. And I'm not going to allow participant, no matter what age, what gender, what race, to negate that. You're not going to repaint this reality, because I stand with those people who suffer. Because who's suffering this program is not just me, but there's a lot of women and children dying. And I'm not going to let some tantrum, childlike, teenage trash negate that. You are accountable for what you're part of, and I'll make sure that if you face me, that accountability will be fully applied. There is no torture that's going to negate reality. There is no fake emotion that's going to cover up what you guys are part of. There is none of that is going to happen. The theatrics are not functioning. I was standing with these people, and I will continuously stand with these people that are suffering this program. I'm not going to allow some teenager to negate the torture of babies. I'm not going to allow that. I don't care how troll like she's trying to make it self-talk. I don't care how this childishness thing they can cover up reality. For me, there's a man who killed a 15-year-old because she was a participant in this program and had no remorse. So I'm not going to allow some teenage trash think that she cannot be accountable for what she's part of because she's a childish individual. That's why I prepare myself when I face them to take it to the level that needs to be taken. Especially when they have their tantrum-like ways of almost wanting to cry. You're such a teenage trash that you think you can be involved in a program, and because you've been unmasked for the reality of what you're part of, that you're going to start making yourself cry? Because instead of the heroes you try to paint yourself as, you're just some trash involved in a crime against humanity that where babies and women are being tortured in a horrible way. And because you're in your pajamas, you think I'm going to let you let this facility evil be applied in this fantasized way? You know, for me, they try to be mystifying and use these mysticful things. The embarrassing part is, it's not embarrassing. They really thought they could override reality. Today, what's happening is they forced me to get these disgusting experiences, which they're like, no, what we do, we map it to you as a child. Remember what you did as a kid? You were not, weren't you, were you? And they play these games, these word games that are supposed to gaslight me. I'm like, trash. This man killed a child because he was being manipulated. You think I don't know I'm being manipulated? You can have some teenage trash say, you like girls. Little girls, like, okay. Because what's happening today is they force me to get sexual stimulation and arousals that they force me to have, and they're like, no, we mapped it to you when you were 8th grade. Remember what you did as a kid. So today as an adult, you're no longer. To try to make me subscribe to the manipulation they've done to others. And send some teenage trash who wants me to be regressed to that level. I was like, yeah, you're not. We mapped it. I was like, trash, you deserve to die. You deserve to die. I'm glad that you're living this slow lifeness and you see somebody who's never going to let you live your fantasy. You're trash, slow life, bottom feeders. This trash are bottom feeders that the government contracts. And this governmental entity full of pedophiles contract these bottom feeders. I'm so glad I was able to say that every day and put that in the faces of this delusional retard trash, immersed and intoxicated by the fact that the program can manipulate the mind and control the mind in this way, to the point where they have pushed people to cause mass shooting, and they have to turn people into retards to try to make them subscribe to these things. could have been a clown like them. Thank you, God. That's what my video starts, by saying, thank you, God. I was seeing the number 14 and 4. And they were trying to make me think, yeah, now 14, remember what you did when you were 14-year-old? And the 4 is like, remember? Because I did something to myself when I was in 8th grade, when I just turned 14 years old. Not something that I did to myself. What a child is capable of doing. The picture that you're seeing here is what an 8th grader looks like. Now listen, I'm not talking to people who don't know reality. I'm talking to people who want to erase reality. So I know what the fuck that I'm dealing with. These perps wants, first of all, to act like they just make me pay for what I did when I was a child. And today as a grown man, when I'm being manipulated this way, it's like, we're matching to you as a child. First of all, that's not what they're doing. They're falsifying my memory. They're altering my memories as a child to make me feel the things they make me experience today. And be like, we matched it. Now, clearly, this is pure regression of the mind to think like that. I'm talking to people who are known to be doing this nasty manipulation because they torture the mind in this way. It's a mental torture tactic. Then they utilize this teenage trash the government utilize in these ways to gaslight, target individual. That's why this man, Steve Marlowe, ended up killing a 15-year-old child. Because this is a common. They do use teenage trash in this program. Some women have said they have this teenage with attitudes participate in what's happening to her. So it is a consistent thing when they utilize this kind of clowns around you. I think they wanted to see them as like this unique, daring teenager. No, you're the trashy teenager involved in the program, where these pedophiles run this program, and you have to do these trolling things that ends up making somebody kill a kid with no remorse. And I guarantee, for me, it's not a threat. I know I will react accordingly. And they've been humiliated that they don't even feel sorry that this man killed a 15-year-old. They feel embarrassed that this validates me, that there's teenage trash involved in this program, and they're going to end up getting killed in this program. Because they thought their tantrum, their behavior, was going to give them immunity from somebody who knows who's being manipulated. But they want him to be regressed and being retarded, literally, to the point where he should be accepting of this manipulation because they match it to him as a child. And then use these clowns around you who's supposed to override the obviousness that they do this pedophilia type of torture, and this is a way they attack the mind. I have this teenage trash around me, and I have these co-workers around me that are just a bunch of trash opportunists involved in a program where they don't think they should be attacked or killed for participating in something that rewired the brain in this way to the point of making somebody kill a 15-year-old. But I should rationalize like a mentally regressed individual, like a retard. And I should see them as these avengers in the program where babies are freaking getting suffocated, diseased, blinded temporarily. I say temporarily because with me they say they're going to blind me permanently. And I should look at this trash as these avengers, you delusional fucks. And so when I see 14.4, I'm supposed to be like, yeah, pay for that. Like, there's testimonials, literally. I have testimonials of women calling out a 4-year-old with Down syndrome being sexually tortured in this program. A 4-year-old being sexually tortured. These trash are accountable to be involved in a program that does that. Matter of fact, they live life putting effort to negate that. You know how much effort they try to disown me to not bring that up? Because they wanted me to think, oh, remember what you did to yourself when you were a child. 14.4. It's like, and they wanted to destabilize me to the point where I'm not going to bring up the fact that, remember that I know you tortured a 4-year-old with Down syndrome sexually. That's when they're going through the different things they say to me. I'm a target individual who deal with V2K and synthetic telepathy. What happens is they manipulate my brain in these degrading ways. My thought process are being manipulated. in almost a mental regress way. And also I'm also being manipulated where I get sexual arousal, stimulation, sensation that I bring up all the time that they want me to subscribe to. And to subscribe to how? Mapped you to you as a child. When the truth is they're mapping the brain to know how to manipulate your brain to have experiences that are degrading. So they can make you have sexual arousal how they want you to have them. Whenever they want you to have them. Time it whenever they want it. Control you to have these degrading things that they decide for you to experience, because they've mapped your brain to know how to make you experience these experiences that they're designing for you to experience, and attack your mind in this way and meant to torture you this way. And then they utilize this trash around you that comes with this disconnected way, because first of all, they're not fully adults. So we all understand the brain is not fully there. But on top of that, they know that this is a game to them. That the more passionate we sound like, the less it's going to look like we're manipulating the brain for him to experience that, which is not even going to work. Of course, everybody knows this. This is memory. This is manipulation. This is mental torture. And they also do memory manipulation, because they do the same. They make me have the stimulation that they make me have today as me as a child. And be like, we're matched. It's regress and retarded in so many ways, but at a cost of a life. So for me, I'm not saying that just to threaten anybody. I know I'm going to face them. They're going to come with this disconnected tantrum. Not only I'm going to see them as the trash that I rewind my brain this way by involving a program where they've put a lot of effort to negate the torture of 4-year-old. Because they wanted to be painted as the protectors of 4-year-old. So I don't care what age this participant are. Confrontation needs to be adequate to what they're part of. For the 4-year-old that have been tortured in this program, I will not allow this low life to live this fantasy. And for all the children, from 3-week-old to 15-year-old, that have suffered and been tortured in this program, you're not going to be deluded and live your fantasy. And use this teenage trash here who wants me to be mentally regressed, because today they are attacking my mind in this way, and then bring up me as a child to be like, that's validation. Remember when you were a kid in 8th grade? Then even falsify my memories, but make me have the stimulations. Adding to the regress stupidity here. To all the 4-year-old, to all the 3-week-old, to all the 3-year-old, to all the 5-year-old, to all the 7-year-old, to all the 10-year-old, all the children. Fuck those teenage participants. They deserve to die for being involved in a program that tortures children. Their childishness does not give them immunity for what they've brought off. And their tantrum will not make me subscribe to anything that they force me to have. Excuse me for my language. And by the way, when I say F them, they're like, oh, F, like, because they tell me they frame me with this trash. No. You're going to frame me to crash out. Come with your tantrum and your childishness. Try to, you know how much they try to destabilize you. So what they do is, this program utilizes very advanced technology. Clearly, this is the V2K and the synthetic therapy. That's where the heavy load comes. That's really when you feel helpless. That is what kills you psychologically. That's what tortures you mentally. The rest is just traditional mental torture, traditional brainwashing. These clowns try to disorient you, destabilize you, to make you internalize this manipulation. So when I saw the 14, which is 14 and 4, they start trying to bring up everything they could to just confuse me, disorient me, distract me, and start talking about your spine, because they do this thing where they handicap target visual. And this is brainwashing textbook. Brainwashing, traditional brainwashing. They want your mind to not be able to stabilize itself, to be like, I'm being told by people involved in a program where 4-year-olds are being destroyed and killed and tortured. And younger children, that these trash are just avenging, make me pay, and try to make me subscribe to this manipulation by bringing up me as a child, as if I should be subscriptive to the grown man brain or grown adult brain should be comparable to what a child can do when they're in 8th grade. But people who are known to be doing this nasty manipulation and mental torture, target individual in these degrading pedophilia ways, even women describing the same things and calling out the same trashy perps participating in this. They tell me I'm going to be feasted. I'm going to be like, there's no feasting that's negating the fact that you're involved in a program that torture 4-year-old and do this mental attack. Do the mental attack that I mentioned systematically. Your theatric torture will not negate that, and you'll see the rage in me if you ever try to see if I'm subscribing to this or not.
For Nestor.
My name is Catherine Nestor, and I'm from Pennsylvania. This commission has spoken of a long history of abuse of the human research subject. Although no one mentioned MKUltra today, President Clinton recently apologized for this. My young child and I have been used as non-consensual test subjects. We have been subjected to COINTELPRO-like stalking, remote neural monitoring, and electromagnetic torture, resulting in psychological and physical damage. And I won't go into the details of that because I have 4 pages written in here that is very similar to Connie's testimony. Please do not wait 70 years to investigate this. I ask Dr. Amy Gutman to begin today.
I am currently a speech-language pathologist working in private practice with young children. I had a 7-year-old client who has autism, and she was the most significantly affected of all of my clients. I eventually had to tell this client to go to another clinic, and they used her to threaten the most torture in me as well as their most extreme forms of torture. For several months, she would cry and scream horribly during our therapy sessions despite having a great day at school. This was highly unusual behavior for her, as she usually behaved very well during her therapy sessions. I observed her gasping for air a few times in the same way that I do when I am being more severely suffocated. The suffocation had been in a mild state for a while up until this point. Many of their torture methods are cyclical in severity. Right after I saw this child being suffocated, then I began to experience very extreme suffocation all day, every day, for about 2 months straight, and that's also when they made it worse when I eat. Then I also work with a 4-year-old little girl with Down syndrome, as well as her 5-year-old sister who also has Down syndrome. I observed both of these girls suddenly grabbing their genitals in pain and verbalizing, "ow." I observed this at least on 1 or 2 occasions for each of them during their separate sessions. During one session, I observed one of my 3-year-old clients suddenly grab his crotch and lean forward in his chair. And then he...
Guys, I'm a targeted individual, and I find out that I'm targeted individual since 2012, and right now I'm a full-time mom.
I live in New York City, and I am a victim of organized stalking, electronic harassment, microwave torture, V2K abuse, and I'm asking you to help us end this crime against humanity, which has impacted men, women, children all around the world.
Hi, I'm Wan from Malaysia. My family are targeted individuals. We are victims of cyber torture.